So a friend who's trying to help me troubleshoot, says to me, like, my oxygen dropped to 81, and she's trying to help me figure things out, right? And she's like, well, does the oral device, is it supposed to raise your oxygen? Well, if that's the proper diagnosis, if that's the actual issue, why I'm not sleeping, and why my oxygen is low, if the problem actually is that my jaw is falling too far back, then, and the solution would be, sorry, I'm stuck here, my mittens, my glove is stuck on the strap of my phone. If that's the actual problem, wonder why. There we go. The lens was dirty. If that's the actual problem, that my jaw is falling too far back when I fall asleep or when I'm too relaxed, then if I had a proper oral device that's properly fitted and actually working at night, which I've never had one, I've only had an over-the-counter one that's partially working, then that might be the solution. If that's the actual problem, then having a proper device might ensure that my oxygen stays high enough during the night. But I've never had a proper device. I've tried a half a dozen over-the-counter ones. I've spent hundreds of dollars trying to make the over-the-counter ones. And the one I'm using, only half of it, one side is working. The other half broke off when I was making it. It's too big for my jaw. So it's kind of helping. It is helping, because without this, I'd be screaming for help. But it's not helping to the point where I'm sleeping and it's keeping my oxygen up. So the only way to find out any of these things is to keep troubleshooting, buying devices, or the medical system provides me with devices and various means of help. Okay, so CPAP failed. After 7 years, I wasn't sleeping. I need an oral device. I've never had a professional oral device for, almost $3,000. I don't have the money. I'm not working. They don't want to break my jaw and move my jaw forward. And I don't think I can handle that level of trauma at this point after so much other medical trauma. Technically, a dental specialist could widen my lower jaw, because they did make my jaw smaller. They could widen the jaw and move it forward, but I don't have thousands of dollars for that. And a trach. And a tracheostomy, a hole cut in my throat so I can breathe at night. And to me, to widen my jaw, and they have expanders, metal expanders that they put in your jaw to widen it and gradually make it wider and wider, forcing your jaw to be wider and move it forward. That would take a couple years of pain and suffering, and I just can't see myself tolerating that. I don't have the money to pay somebody thousands of dollars to do that. The easiest way out of this that I can see is a trach. And they don't want to do a trach. And I'm not 100% certain why. I think because one of their colleagues unfortunately caused me a lot of damage with a sinus surgery. I think that's why they're refusing. But I think that would be the easiest, most reasonable solution at this point. I don't know. But they won't do it. And I don't have money to travel. I don't know anymore.